Hello, welcome to The Parent Light with Jennifer Peaster and Wendy Sexton, both mentors with the Ascension School of Spirituality. We're glad you're here with us today, and we're excited to check out a new topic um, to find some inspiration and light with you guys.
Okay, so yeah, we think that just picking a topic for the day, and we welcome topics from you. But I have just a bag of some topics that we've discussed a little bit before that we thought would be good things to talk about. So I got one. Let's see what it says. Oh wow, that was a hard one for me. Kids and homework.
Yeah, that's a funny one.
Always go quickly through this and get a different topic if this one's just too stressful. It was
No,
for me.
I love that you pulled that. I can laugh at it now, anyways. Um, as most parents of school age kids this year would say, homework, we are done with it. After all becoming homeschoolers spontaneously overnight for months on end. um, Boy, homework this year on top of being the teacher. Yeah, it's quite stressful. And, you know, in the thick of it this year, I certainly had my panic moments. Some days were great and we got through it all. Some days I wanted to bury my head in the sand. And, um, in retrospect, we're what, oh gosh, almost a year out. It's February and that started last March. Um, Thankfully for me, my kids got to go back to in person in the fall. I know some stayed virtual, but it was really, really hard. Um, One thing I really want to say though, that I couldn't see in the middle of the chaos, but after the fact, I really could observe that the days that were hardest for me were the days that I was really anybody knows what an empath is, where you kind of take on other people's emotions and feel that. It was a mix of taking on the agony my kids were in, as well as remembering being that student. And for me, I had a first grader and a fourth grader and a fifth grader when it all started. So it's like, oh my gosh, bring me back to those grades all at one time. And, your mind goes wild. And what I realized though is in the days that I was kind of sunk into that energy, boy, I could not help them with their homework. It was all I could do just to get through the day. And the days that I kind of had myself together and kind of was able to kind of stand back and keep my own energy out of theirs, I could be that guide and that teacher and that whatever they needed that day. Not that I did it the best, but I could at least show up on those days. So that's the first thing that comes to me, and I'd love to hear.
Well, the thought that just came to me. I mean, I didn't have to do that this year because my kids are older. I have one in college, but that if you could do it in this last year, like you're set, because it seems like it could never be as difficult as this last year. So I just want to give you applause for that. Like that is amazing. Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, I've had clients dealing with it, and it does seem like an important thing is just to lower the bar of what you want, because this year was just so different. And it did make me think about, for me, my kids were pretty good about doing their schoolwork, except one of my kids didn't like to. So, and how that can color your whole day if you let it. And so finding the perspective, it took me a long time, like trying to pretty much trial and error, like trying this thing, seeing if that helped, trying this. And in the end, one of the things that I came to is just like, so what's most important to me? It's that they learn something, that they're figuring out who they are and figuring out what they have interest in. And I really had to let go of, what the grade was going to be in the end. If no homework got done, did they still learn something? But it's a challenge, like how to let go of them doing it all or doing it well, or
Absolutely. Yeah, and mine, I'm kind of the opposite. I've got 3, and one of mine is, really school's really easy for them and, doesn't need a whole lot of help and can kinda get mostly straight A's with little effort, and the other 2 are on the opposite spectrum and get extra services at school to help them along, and, sometimes that can be daunting, and yeah, I really just let go of, they're not at that, um, the map level they're supposed to be, or whatever the state testing test is for the year. Um, but they're continuing to make progress. And, that's all I can ask of them, and that they continue to try. And, each of them needs something a little bit different. One of them actually needs to move. I personally, I don't know how, they read, like, standing and rocking, but it works, because my eyes would kinda go, a little crazy, but it's that they need that sensory feedback.
mhm.
Um, and then my other one that struggles, um, needs some laughter and some jokes, because if it's not fun, then we're gonna be in tears. So we have to have little bits of, like, breakout jokes or games in order to stay in the game, So it's boy, it's trial and error, and whatever works with one doesn't mean it's working with the other.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it does sound like, when you're saying that, it's like really getting to know your child, of what helps them, and also, making sure you don't get in the stress of it. Like, you
Yeah.
don't join them there. Instead, you help lighten it. I love the way you talked about that, of playing, making it
Yeah.
more fun.
Yeah. And not that this is an ad of any sort, but I have to, it would not be right for me not to share this information. One of the books that helped me with that, another friend got me onto, is called The Child Whisperer by Carol Tuttle. And she does these 4 energy profiling types. And based on, which one your child fits into, it gives you some information of how to help them, um, with their studies, and my one is actually a type 1, and that one needs it to be fun. If it's not fun, we're not gonna get through it. And the one that actually does really well in school really easily is a type 4, and they just need their solitude and need to know the rules. So that can be another resource maybe that somebody might like to check out, to help figure out, you know, why one kid seems to really excel and you apply the same principles or the same methods and the next one doesn't. We all have different styles of learning. I know I'm a very hands-on person. I think that's why I got into physical therapy. I'm a doer. I need to do the thing. I can't just listen and know it, or read it and know it. Um, I know for myself, I had to, like, write note cards, and it was the writing of it that helped me then remember it.
Yeah,
So,
the visual also, like,
yeah,
but engaging with it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
I think that sounds like a great resource. So I'm glad you shared it.
yeah.
Well,
So, and that's what we hope, is that we can continue to share with you guys things that we've found that have worked, and ways we wish, we learn best from our mistakes. So we're all gonna make them.
it's true. It takes a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. And just remember that you're already a better parent than you think you are.
Absolutely.
Bye.